Olivia Jade visits the Red Table to break her silence on the college admission scandal that landed both of her parents in prison. We are breaking down some of the biggest revelations from the episode, which dropped Tuesday morning, starting with why Olivia says she wanted to share her side of the story.
I think that this has been like a really eye-opening experience for me and situation, and although there's a lot of negative around it and there's a lot of mistakes and wrongdoings,
right,
it's led me to have a completely different outlook on a lot of situations.
Right.
I also felt like I wanted to be somewhere where I didn't feel like attacked and maybe I could feel more understood.
And I feel like there's no better place to have that open dialogue, and an honest one at that, than the Red Table with the Smiths.
For sure. I mean, the Red Table talk, I don't have enough good things to say about it. It's
Right.
just, like she said, she didn't want to do a traditional sit-down interview, or I think it would have been a horrible idea if she had just gone on YouTube and said something. I really appreciate that she went to the Red Table and she spoke with these women who represent three different, generations, and they bring a lot of life experience to the table. And I mean, just my overall feelings on this interview was that both parties, the Smiths and Olivia Jade, didn't come to play. They did not let Olivia off the hook, and in turn, I think she did a really great job of opening her ears, opening her mind, and leaving a piece of her heart on the table. What did you think of it?
I felt like it was actually incredibly brave of Olivia. This is the first interview she's ever given, like first real sit-down interview. But also, for her to show up there and admit the wrongdoing that was done, and also to just kind of reflect on, because she was saying that she's not there for sympathy, and this is not like for redemption. In fact, it's just her to kind of like finally just apologize and move forward and do better, And she even said that had she done this interview a year ago, it would have been a different conversation. She has learned so much over this time. And I feel like the timing of it all it says a lot too. And in fact, a source tells ET that Olivia's family was supportive of her new interview. They said that they all agree now was the time for Olivia to speak out. The source added that they felt there was no better way to address everything than with Jada, because they trust her and are family friends with the Smiths. And, as far as moving forward, the source says that Olivia has been wanting to get back in the limelight and share her side of things for some time now, and is looking forward to getting back out there. She misses her YouTube career, and she knows that there will be some hurdles ahead of her, but she's ready to face things head on and ultimately get back into the swing of things. But I want to note that really, though, in this interview, what we learned is that she didn't initially understand why people were so upset by the news of the scandal, but she wanted to show people that she has learned from this mistake. Let's take a look.
I remember thinking, which my thoughts are completely different now, but I remember thinking, how are people mad about this? I know that sounds so silly, but in the bubble that I grew up in, I didn't know so much outside of it. I didn't realize at the time that's privilege. I didn't put those two together. I was like, well, this is what everybody does, and my parents worked really hard, and I don't understand. I understand that just based off my skin color, I already had my foot in the door, and I was already ahead of everybody else. I think 100% I can recognize that. Going forward, I do want to do stuff to change that and to help that.
Wow.
Deidre, what did you make of her honesty there? I was going to say, do you believe her?
I think at the end of the day, I always try to give people the opportunity to change and the benefit of the doubt that she is a different person than she was a year ago. And she didn't waste any time explaining just truly how privileged she was growing up. There's no excuse for it. Personally, I mean, like a lot of people are pointing out on Twitter, like, how are you claiming you didn't know? You were taking pictures, pretending to be a crew member, rowing. How did you not know that any of this was going on? But for whatever reason, that's what she said. And I just, a part of the interview I really appreciated was when she talked about how she has quietly gone down to an underprivileged area in the Los Angeles area. And she's been spending a lot of time with kids who are just so grateful to have a space to safely do their homework. And for her growing up with so much opulence and so much affluence, it's really given her that much needed perspective, spending time with children. And so, like we said before, how she's excited to get back to her career. I truly hope, and I do believe, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, that we're not going to see the traditional stuff on her YouTube channel that she was posting before. Maybe a little bit of beauty, maybe a little bit of the fun stuff that she does, but it's 1000% got to be infused with her showing that she's learned the lesson. You can talk the talk, but then you got to walk the walk. And I'm feeling optimistic after watching this interview. What's important to me is what she does next.
It's true, because I feel like you, as you put it, you have to kind of give people the space to learn and grow, but then they have to actually put it into practice.
Right.
And she said that she's not going to be the same after this, that, this experience burst her perfect little comfortable bubble. And now she's recognizing what's going on around her. And what I found so fascinating about this conversation is they really did not let her off easy, particularly Gammy. Gammy, of course, is Jada Pinkett's mother. She was extremely honest, saying that she found it difficult to feel compassionate towards Olivia. And she called her out and said ignorance and privilege is not an excuse, and added that she found it ironic that Olivia came to 3 Black women for support, saying that it is, in her eyes, the epitome of white privilege. Let's take a look.
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with everything that we have to deal with as a community, and I just don't have the energy to put into the fact that you lost your endorsements.
Right.
You know, or you're not in school right now.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be okay, because your parents are going to go in and they're going to do their 60 days and they're going to pay their fine, and you guys will go on and you'll be okay and you will live your life.
Right. Yeah.
Olivia says she didn't come on there to get people to like her, but instead wanted to apologize to contributing to those social inequalities. So I'm willing to let her learn and grow from this, and I really recommend everyone take a look at this Red Table Talk interview. We have the revelations from this up at etonline.com.